Hey, queens, how y'all doing? Y'all know it's time to dance. That's what we do here. We dance. All righty. Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is Tyrone Milade, your goddess guru, your sister friend. You know, I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess centered lifestyle. And y'all know I love using astrology to help us tap into our goddess energy. It's all about living according to the cycles as well as the moons. We have a new moon eclipse coming up tomorrow, October the 2nd. And wowzers, that Pisces full moon eclipse. Whoa. So this is the second. We typically have at least two. So we're done for a little while after the second. And yeah, but I want to go over the monthly astrology for October. Welcome to October 2024. How did this happen? Wowzers. We are here. How are you all doing? If there are any queens who have been negatively impacted by the hurricane, I send my heart out to you. I send my love. I'm asking for the entire Goddess Body Mind Spirit community, the G Hive, to send prayers and good energy out to everyone who has been negatively impacted by Hurricane Helene. And if there's something that y'all know we can do to support you, let us know. All right. Yeah, 2024 in some regards has been not as crazy, let's say, for instance, as 2020. But this 2024 was just like 2023. Y'all gonna put some respect on my name. Woo! So my heart just goes out to anyone out there who's had a rough 2024. This has been a rough year for a lot of people. But, um, let's use astrology to help us to navigate. That's one of the things that astrology does for us. It helps us to learn or to know how to navigate each month. Even some of the worst times that I have experienced, astrology kept me buoyed. It was kind of like, how sometimes it's a rough time and it's kind of like you can't even see what to do. That's one of the things that I love about astrology. It helps you to see. Even when you can't actually see, the astrology will see for you. So let's see what the astrology is seeing for us this month. Um, just going to go on ahead and ask you to um, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up. And I know you may need to listen to see if you get something from here before you give me a thumbs up. So whenever you feel ready, thank you so much. I would appreciate the love. Okay. So yeah, let's look at the astrology. Let's see how this is looking for you all. I just want to make sure y'all can see well. Oh, I didn't mean to stop the share. Un momento, queens. Okay, I want to just blow it up a little bit. So I decided, I'm not looking at Chiron enough, so I need to go out of my way to look and see what is Chiron doing. So one thing that I know is that Jupiter is sextiling Chiron all month. One thing I love about that is for everyone who has been dealing with a lot of stress and trauma and healing, especially when it feels like it's coming from the inside out. It's something from a long time ago, something that has been around for a while. Maybe you feel like you have a fatal flaw. Jupiter um, interacting with Chiron can be really good for helping you to get the support you need to move past operating from the wound and instead operating from that wisdom. And Jupiter is about to go retrograde. You can see here on the 9th of October, Jupiter goes retrograde. So It has already been interacting with that Chiron, and what the invitation is for is a reframe. It's asking you to reframe something around a wound, something around a lot of times Chiron, it feels like a fatal flaw. It feels like something that you can't actually um it feels like something it's like this problem that you've always had and it just kind of holds you back or whatever. Maybe you spend a lot of time trying to fix it. Maybe Jupiter is giving you the lesson that I think Chiron is all about, because Jupiter's wisdom and it's this energy of seeing the big picture and reframing a thing. One of the things that we've heard Wayne Dyer say, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That's what Jupiter does. And Chiron is this wound. It is a wound that we have received in some kind of way. And to a certain degree, it feels almost inherent, like you can't even get rid of this flaw. But the lesson with Chiron is Chiron never got healed. If you study the story of Chiron, Chiron never actually got healed, but his wound became his wisdom and it helped him to become a healer of other people. The very healing that he needed, or there was a healing that came from having that wound. And one of the greatest lessons I think that Chiron offers us is that the wound may never, ever go away. But if you can embrace that part of yourself or whatever this thing is where it feels like there was a hit done to you, like somebody did something and it just has messed you up. If you can get to that point where you can see how the gift of it, like, for me, I always kind of feel like, excuse me, fatally flawed. I always feel a little bit like something is wrong. I'm never going to be right. And then just one day, I was like, you know what? I can have the life that I want. I don't have to get perfect. I don't have to get fixed. And I put that in quotes. I don't, I can be as flawed as I always have been, and I can still create great things. I remember when I came to that, and it almost just made it like I don't even need all this whatever's in me that feels so fatally flawed to get fixed. As a matter of fact, it's Chiron is definitely a place where you could do some shadow work. So that might be something that a lot of us are working on. We've had Pisces, and baby Pisces will bring up some shadowy stuff for you because Pisces is all about the subconscious mind. And it was that full moon. And so the full moon may have illuminated something in your subconscious mind where you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was there. And it may have gotten illuminated in a way where you're kind of like, I can't even get away from it and everybody else sees it? Um, so yeah, it's just a point of shadow work. And so one of the things that I think is a beautiful place to be in is like, I don't even need my shadow to leave. Like, who can actually, let's just talk about shadows. If you go out, stand outside, and you can see your shadow, every time you run, baby, that shadow is hanging with you, right? So it's not even about all the time getting rid of the shadow. It's about how can we understand that that is truly a part of ourselves, and there's a beautiful, beautiful something there where it takes away the disempowerment we feel when it's kind of like, "This is so wrong, and I gotta get this fixed before I can get what I want in my life." So I think Jupiter is gonna help to bring a healing. Jupiter's in the sign that has to do with the mind, and we can even think about inner self-talk. So it could be that's something that we all need to be doing, looking at that inner conversation that we're having, and especially around the wounding and the things that we kind of feel like it's like I'll never get this fixed, right? So Jupiter can help us with that. Chiron is in the sign that has to do with the body. So for some of us, it might be topics around the body. And also Aries is a sign that has to do with new beginnings. So, maybe there is something new that you should be doing that you just won't do because you feel like, I just can't do it. But, you know, that's what you're being called to do. Just do it anyway. You don't have to be perfect, okay? You are more than enough. I have a little sticker here that says you are more than enough. So I just want to be that person. And maybe that's the message that's coming from this Jupiter meeting with Chiron all month. You are more than enough. And there's just going to be so many things that are happening that will allow you to embrace that and embody it. It's one thing to know it, it's another thing to actually live it and embody it. Okay. All right. So we're going to have this new moon solar eclipse. So if you look at the ticker tape moving down at the bottom, I'm going live for well, not for the first time, but for the first time in a while, I'm going live. Um, and yeah, I will go over that eclipse. But, it's a new moon eclipse and it is all about some new beginning that is happening after a release. And one of the things that I would offer to you is this eclipse, even though it's about a new moon, it's like in order to get what you want, there's something that needs to be released. It could be a relationship because it's Libra. It could be a contract of some sort. It could be a contract that is relational. Maybe it has to do with work, or you need to move from where you are and go to, sign a new contract some other place. Also, Libra is a sign of agreements, and it's kind of like, what have you agreed to that you're like, you know what, I need to end that agreement in order for you to manifest something new. You already know whatever you agreed to is holding you back. So those are some things that I just want to kind of put out there. And, an eclipse is a very powerful moon. Could be new, could be full. Very, very powerful because it has the possibility of bringing about um, massive change in your life. And so, yeah, I want you to set some new moon intentions around detaching. It's like, what are you detaching from? What are you releasing and what are you letting go of? And anything, it's something around releasing and detaching from a relationship, an agreement, a contract, and anything that takes you out of balance, anything that's throwing off the harmony of your life. You want to set some new moon intentions around that. I'll talk a little bit more about this solar eclipse tomorrow. So I'm just doing an overview, but I guess I could look at this week because this is the first week of October, and I'll start with the weekly videos next week. Um, but yeah, I'll go through Saturday. We'll start the week off at the top for Sunday. Well, no, I'm going to go ahead and go for Sunday today. So yeah, we have Venus trine Saturn. That is a very lovely transit. Venus is in um, Scorpio, and Saturn is over here in Pisces. So, Venus is joy and ease and flow, and Saturn is this sign that has to do with working hard, sticking with the plan. So it's like you can get a lot done. It might be that this is the time where you're actually focused a little bit on money topics. It could have you wanting to get, maybe you need to plan, or you got away from your plan and you need to get back to your plan. And these are water signs that they're in. So water is always about healing and intuition. Um, Scorpio. Now, I'll tell you what, there could be something around doing some type of research that this transit could make very, very easy. There could be some reality check. Something in the dark comes to light around a relationship. Now, again, Venus is the planet that has to do with relationships, money, actually manifestation. This one could help with you manifesting some things also. But yeah, manifestation, appearance, and she also has to do with your desires. And so it could be that it's like you are strategically planning. You're creating some strategy, or some strategy comes to you like intuitively. It just downloads into you. So make sure you get your pen and paper out and write it down. But yeah, it could be some strategy that comes to you that would really help you to make forward progress in any of those topics. Venus is also related to what you eat and self care. So this could be actually a self care um, transit. Either you're going to get a lot done at work or on some project around your house, something that takes a lot of patience, because Saturn is patience. And, it's kind of like you just hang in there no matter what with Saturn. So it's gonna help you to get a lot done, or for a lot of people, you just may feel like, "I just wanna relax. I wanna just do some self-care and just do something for me," and, whatever that looks like, right? So, yeah, you'll feel that October 3rd, 4th through 5th. So then on October the 6th, that Sunday, Mercury is going to square Mars. So, these are the planets that have to do with technology. That's something that could happen. Could be some harsh conversations, some challenging conversations, people going back and forth. Um, Mercury is in Libra and Mars is in Cancer. So, it could have something to do with something within a family. Yeah, it could definitely have something to do that with that, because Cancer is the family, and Mercury's in Libra, which has to do with relationships. So familial relationships. A square is always like maybe somebody says something and it kicks you into action. So it could be something like that. Both of these planets are in signs that have to do with new beginnings. So it might just kind of be like something happens, somebody says something, and it kicks you into gear to get something done, or start something new that you have been kind of waiting on to get started. Now, the other thing you can see here is that Mars shadow period starts. So Mars is going to go retrograde in December, but right now is the time to find out, what is this Mars retrograde going to mean? Let me tell y'all something. Mars retrograde is happens every 2 years, about every 2 years. It's intense. So enjoy this time leading up to December. I'm pretty sure it's the top of December. So, enjoy October, even though I know we have this eclipse right now. But yeah, Mars is going to start showing us what topics are coming up. It all depends on your sign and where your planets are, how much you feel this retrograde. For sure, Aries and Scorpios, sun, moon, or ascendant, doesn't matter. You could feel this retrograde. You could feel a little tired. You could feel a little off. It's probably going to be important for you to get some rest. For everybody, Mars is energy and focus and drive and courage. It's the warrior planet. When its energy is retrograde, yeah, you may not feel like that part of yourself. It doesn't feel like it's available to you. A retrograde is more about an inner change that needs to happen. So, it's retrograding in Libra, excuse me, Cancer, as well as Leo. So, Leo, it'll start in Leo when it retrogrades. So, Leo is all about what is your unique genius, your gifts, your talents, and you standing out. So many people don't want to stand out, but you may be looking inside like, why won't I stand out? Why won't I let people see my gifts? Why won't I take action? Because Mars is take action. But it's something inside of you. It's kind of like at the start of today's video where I talked about Jupiter and Chiron. It's allowing you to kind of get in touch with what's actually really holding me back in terms of Leo. Leo is very creative. So some people may be like, why can't I be more creative in my life? And I want you to think about creative energy like this. Creative energy is how we manifest everything. You do not need to be an artist. You just want to be in touch with your creative energy. Just do art for the sake of doing art, or it's all about how do you allow that creative energy to flow through you. And maybe Mars is going to help you to, because Mars is about, it's like a warrior with a sword, a machete. You think about Ogun, Harakahuti. These are all warrior energies. Aries. This energy has a sword and it cuts through things. So it'll allow you to cut through anything that's not letting you fully stand in your creative energy, your gifts, your talents, as well as your confidence. So it could help with that. And then it's going to retrograde in Cancer. It'll be in Cancer the longest for the retrograde. And so, like looking within yourself, maybe some of us out here, some of y'all, because I don't, I just have to say that because my mom is not here. So I got to hold on to all the good feelings that I can. So maybe some people have challenges with mama, and Mars retrograde is going to allow you to really do some inner work around mama issues. And maybe, it's you as a mother. Maybe there's some things that you as a mother need to work on. It is about the home. So maybe for some people, when Mars goes retrograde in Cancer, you'll say, hey, I need to do some things around my home. It's an energy that has to do uh, the with self-care. And so some of us may be like, you know what, I haven't focused enough on self-care. And you'll just begin to feel this inner drive to really open yourself up to caring for yourself better. Has to do with ancestors. So ancestral topics can come up. It could just be family, mama, parent topics in general. So I don't want to just limit it to mama. Cancer is definitely the sign of the mom, but it could just be anything with the family. And maybe you lost your focus with your family, and Mars retrograde is going to create an opportunity that will allow you to start focusing on your family more. And again, um, Cancer is a sign that has to do with new beginnings and action. So it could be there was a lost opportunity and it comes back with this Mars retrograde. Okay. This retrograde, it lasts from December to February. So right now, October, November, and the first few days of December, pay attention to what is coming up. Okay. And that will make the retrograde so much easier once we get there. Okay. So, um, okay. Let's talk about Jupiter retrograde. So I talked about Jupiter going retrograde and probably starting around the 6th through the 12th. We'll just use a full week. That energy, the energy of Jupiter is very, very strong because Jupiter has had to slow down in order to start the retrograde. So its energy is very powerful right now. So it could actually manifest some blessing, some opportunity, some good fortune for you, um, from the 6th through the 12th. I hope so. I hope that's what happens. Jupiter, I agree with my astrology teacher. Jupiter, it just makes whatever is there bigger. It does not always bring a blessing. It just amplifies whatever is there. So, but you know, Jupiter amplifying something you don't want is actually helping you to see, oh, I don't want this. I need to do something different, right? But it could bring a blessing, an opportunity, or something like that. It's retrograding in Gemini from the 11th degree to the 21st degree. It will be retrograde, I think, until around February also. So, whew, we're gonna have Mars and Jupiter retrograde at the same time. Both of these are fiery planets. I'm telling y'all, get ready. We getting ready to feel like we need a little bit of energy. Woo! Because the fire planets, yeah. Let me tell you about a retrograde planet. The energy of that planet, like what it represents. So, for instance, Jupiter is like law and yeah, it's the law. It's like going to the court, and it's like the judge, and you go to the court, and judgment is handed out. So it could feel like while Jupiter is retrograde, it feels like you know the energy of Jupiter is weak. Um, let's see here. Oh, the other thing that I'll say, Jupiter retrograde, there's a lot of people who I think you will see in the news, and I think the news is going to be uh, on a judge, is going to have a judge and a jury looking at it just because it's in Gemini. That's why I'm saying that. Um, we will see some people, we will see some retribution happening. We think we've seen some stuff. Um, who was it? Cat Williams said all lies will be revealed or something like that. And I like to say all truths will be told. Jupiter retrograde, we will be seeing some more justice being handed out. But it's more of like it's being revealed. Once it goes direct, that's when you'll start seeing progress being made on the person or people that Jupiter revealed in the Jupiter retrograde. It will bring back lost opportunity for other people, for people because it moved forward 21 degrees and it's going to move back 10 degrees. So, um, it will it will bring back lost opportunity. So open yourselves up to that, okay? Pluto is going direct, so that's nice to have a planet moving forward. This one in particular is special. Pluto is a very, very slow moving planet. So sometimes when it goes retrograde and then it goes direct, it's just kind of like going over the same few degrees. It doesn't move very fast. So, but this one is different because Pluto has retrograded back into Capricorn, which it moved into Capricorn. I think it was around 2008, 9, something like that. And this is the last time in our lifetime that we will see that Pluto in Capricorn. We have experienced it in Capricorn for so long. And it only went back to the 29th degree, which is a degree of crisis. And it's kind of like right now showing you one last sign of something that is to come when it moves into Aquarius. So, Pluto is really a generational planet, but I know it helps to understand like what does that mean individually? It is a transformation or change that has to do with the psyche, okay? And Capricorn is about success. It is about it's very methodical, like step by step by step. Actually, it's like going up a pyramid that has steps on it. So, it's like maybe there's something in the psyche that's preventing you from it's my dad, that's preventing you from having success. And there's a change or transformation there that is asking you for. Capricorn is a sign, actually it has to do with karma. So is there something that feels karmic that's coming up for you where you're being asked to change and transform in order to move past this karma, all right? Y you know, Capricorn is a sign that has to do with you get what you earned, nothing more, nothing less. So it's a sign that is kind of like, a reality check, and there's a lot of rules, and it's like stay in the lines. Oh, boundaries. For some people, this might be bringing up some topics around boundaries in your psyche. Why are you struggling with boundaries? But Why are you struggling with the rules? Are you following them too tightly, or are you not following the rules, wherever that is? Sometimes it's just how it is. When you're dealing with Capricorn, you have to follow the rules, and there's a tried and true, you know, path that you should follow. This is a little bit of a sign. Oh, it's a sign that has to do with death. It is said that all souls, doesn't matter what your signs are, come into the world through Cancer and they leave out through Capricorn. That's something I learned in one of my classes. And so, it's kind of like, what do you need to die to? And to a certain degree, there's something in Aquarius that it's kind of bringing that up now too. Aquarius is about progress. So it's kind of like, what's keeping you from making progress? Or Aquarius is a sign that has to do with big communities of people. And some of us have to heal from, you were part of a group and you got wounded, and it's something in the psyche. And there's a change and a transformation. Last little bit that I'll say about Pluto, whew, is a planet that has to do with empowerment. And so you just want to be thinking while it's there, it's going to be there until the last little part of November. So we got about, starting at the top of this month, almost 2 months with it still there on that 29th degree of Capricorn, asking you to make some change, and you'll really just kind of feel it. I think it'll be apparent, and it may not be something new because it has been here multiple times. Trust me. Look, it's stressing me out talking about Pluto. I got to fan myself if you're listening to the podcast. Okay. Next, we have Mercury going into Scorpio. We have Venus in Scorpio. The sun will go into Scorpio. So, yeah, Scorpio is pretty much like what I talked about with Pluto. Pluto and Scorpio is pretty much the same energy. It's about going into the dark, into the depths, and the muck and the mire. You want to think about uh, plumbing. Ugh, when you go into the pipes, how dirty it is, until you have a problem and have to clean them out. Ugh, it can be so dirty. You think about flushing all the poop because Scorpio has to do with like the bowels and releasing detoxification, that kind of thing. Um, those are the kind of topics that come up with Scorpio. But the good news about Scorpio is it's very healing. So, we've had these eclipses happening. So we probably will invite Scorpio's medicine. Scorpio is kind of like Capricorn. It's just kind of like straight no chaser, right? You're gonna get that healing. Might be a little bit rough, but the biggest thing about Scorpio is surrender. If you surrender to the process, sometimes you have to remember we don't have control of everything, right? This is definitely a sign that wants control. But sometimes you have to surrender in order to actually get the healing. You have to surrender in order for everything to actually fall into place. So, those are things we want to be thinking about. It'll be interesting to see what comes with P. Diddy. I can't remember what it's in his chart, but I remember him having something scorpionic. And I said those eclipses in Scorpio got him. Ooh, I think we're gonna learn a lot with all the planets being in Scorpio. Um, let's see here. Then we have a full moon on the 17th, and that full moon is in Aries. I haven't actually looked at that full moon. I'll do a separate video on it. But oftentimes a full moon in Aries is kind of fun and energetic. I mean, come on, Aries is fire. It's like, let's take some action. We want to move. And it's a fighting sign. So, um, yeah, I tend to find Aries. Aries is actually a little fun. It could be a little bit, it's like having fun until Aries gets ticked. And then Aries, and I'm not talking about people, I'm talking about the sign Aries. Once Aries gets ticked off, it's like, I want to fight. But then once the fight is over, they get that energy out. Aries is ready to go again. It's like, all right, cool, it's over. Aries typically That's the kind of sign that will not be carrying grudges because it's just gonna just deal with you straightforward, right? So yeah, it's let's see what this full moon is going to illuminate for us for Aries. And but I'll talk a little bit more about that closer to that time. On that same day, Venus moves into Sagittarius, which is, let's see here. That moon is oh crap. It's at 7:27 a.m. and Venus moves in at okay. So, well, Venus in won't be. It'll be on the 29th degree. Oh my gosh, of Scorpio at the time of the full moon. But um once she moves in there, then we will I don't know why this thing is messing up like this. Oh. Then we'll have 2 planets in fire. So, yeah, that'll bring some energy, that full moon and Venus being there together. That'll bring some energy to us on that day. Let's see here. So Venus moving into Sagittarius, fun. That's definitely fun. And, it's like she's been in this darkness of Scorpio, and it's a very internal sign, and it's kind of like it's sort of I wonder if Cat Williams, I can't remember if he's Scorpio or not, but it's sort of like that kind of thing. It's a reality check, truth teller, and we're just being upfront. It's like it's looking into the dark, seeing all of it. But it's about rebirthing. Scorpio is about rebirthing yourself. And what do you get rebirthed into? Sagittarius, inspiration, hope, and growth and expansion. All right. So that will be the first taste that we get of Sagittarius. Now, Mercury is going to retrograde in Sagittarius. So that'll be very interesting. So Venus is getting Sag season kicked off for us. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's what I have there. And then let me tell you what I pulled from my oracles. Hope that y'all are enjoying what I'm sharing with you. So the first card I pulled from my Mythical Goddess Tarot deck is, oh, you can't see what it stands for. Isolation. Isolation. Who feels isolated? Huh? Hmm. I'm just trying to think. And this is for this month. I think what I want to say about that card, one of the things that it says, because we talked about reframing things, is reframing isolation. Because sometimes we feel isolated, but it's important for us to be okay with asking for support. And, there's one person out there who you can talk to, even if you have to pick up the phone and call a hotline, a helpline, and talk to somebody who you don't really know. There's somebody who will help you. And if you don't know how to get that help, reach out to me. If I know how to get that help for you, then I will point you in that direction. Somebody's going to help you. And sometimes I have another oracle deck where it's kind of like we put ourselves in this position of isolation, maybe sometimes because we don't want to ask for help. Or it's like you just kind of feel like your life has changed and it's changed so much. Maybe you have some problems that you feel like other people don't relate to. I've just seen people retreat. And Mars is in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is like the crab. The crab retreats into the shell, right? So, yes, we want to use that shell for protection. That's very important. However, we don't want to just retreat and put ourselves in isolation and like it's not healthy. We have this new moon in Libra. What's Libra about? Relationships. So I just think it's important for us to ask for support. And when you find yourself thinking, nobody gets me, nobody understands, you could just say, cancel, toe, we're not doing that. And then reach out to somebody. This is the world. We're in the world of social media. Post it on your social. Everyone does it. When you're having a rough day, People get don't think it's a good idea. I do. There's some people who literally do not have anybody to talk to. They post it on Instagram, or Facebook or YouTube, wherever. And we have an opportunity to say, you know what? I see you and I want to support you. Right. So that's what I want to say about isolation. Let me just make sure there's nothing else that I think would be helpful for this month. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, this is interesting. It says Crow is here to teach you that grief and sorrow from separation and loss often bring the illusion of isolation. You're being forced to release the past for your highest good. Seek help in the unseen realms where you are eternally loved and supported so that you may know your oneness with all of humankind and heal in the arms of spirit. So because I pulled that one, I was like, I want to pull a second card. Should not have pulled the second card. Look at what I pulled. Kali Ma. Now look, she has to do with death. Okay. She is the energy of what? Scorpio. We've already talked about Scorpio today. And I pulled these cards before I did this reading because I don't really know what I'm going to say until I sit down. Um, I look at the transits before I start talking, but for the most part, I don't always know how I'm gonna like tie the astrology with the oracle reading. So Kali Ma is a Hindu goddess, and yeah, Kali has to do with death and destruction, but she's also about rebirth. So, the fact that she has to do with Scorpio, and we talked about that. We talked about Pluto going direct, and it's on that 29th degree. It could feel a little. We got to get to Sagittarius season. I'm hoping Sag season will feel better. I think that October might feel a little bit. We'll just say transformative. It'll feel transformative. There was a word I can't remember when I pulled this card, but the word was transmutation. What needs to be transmuted, alchemized this month? So let's see what Kylie has to say. I'll just give you a few details about her just in case you don't know. She's the fierce ancient Hindu goddess, very power of death and resurrection. She devours time and transcends all form, and she brings massive and total transition. She is the dancing goddess who has the power to destroy all life and yet is the liberated deity who is free from all attachment to form. So she's detached. Remember, we talked about detaching with this eclipse. And guess what? You have 6 months to work with this leg of the eclipse. This eclipse has been around for a minute. Okay. We dealt with it in the spring, but this is the next leg of the journey. So detachment over the next 6 months. Okay. Let's see here. Her Kali's uncontrollable force of destruction heralds massive and often sudden transformation, bringing ultimate freedom from the human condition. Her red tongue, do you see her red tongue? Consumes all, and the lifeless heads that adorn her symbolize the destruction of ignorance and the beginning of wisdom. My goddess. All hail Kali with grace and ease, Kali. Woo, grace and ease. Come on now. The severed head in her hand symbolizes the disconnect from false knowledge and illusion that result from addiction to the world of form. So that Jupiter going retrograde, wow, I think that's interesting because one of the things I've been saying about Jupiter being in Gemini, you don't know fact from fiction. You do not know fact from fiction. So maybe we're going to get the truth with Jupiter going retrograde. We'll fall deeper into the truth. Kali assists you in facing your fear of pain and loss that you may be free to receive her protection and move forward. So she wants to offer her protection, but it's through facing your fear of pain and loss. During times in your life when it seems your world is coming to an end, Kali provides the constant reassurance that through the Scorpio cycles of death and destruction of outmoded form, rebirth comes. So, what's outmoded? What's outdated? Letting go of that, rebirth comes. Through the shedding of what no longer serves you comes ultimate freedom. Okay. Last card is, I've never pulled this card. This is for my Moon Magic deck. Arcturus. Arcturus. It's definitely out of space that looks like a star or something like that. Let's see. I'm new to this. Anyone else heard of Arcturus? I'm sure some of y'all have heard of it. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so it says the keywords are guardian, family, and support. So we've talked about getting support. And with that Mars being in Cancer, family. Oh, also it's a guardian. So it says Arcturus is the brightest star in the northern hemisphere of the night sky, and it means guardian of the bear because it appears to chase the Ursa Major constellation around the sky. In Greek mythology, Arcus was the son of Castillo, who was a virgin follower of Artemis. When Zeus took advantage of Castillo, she bore Arcus. But Zeus's wife Hera was so jealous that she turned Castillo into a bear. Wow. Arcus was about to shoot the bear. Oh, yeah. While out hunting, not knowing it was his own mother. When Zeus took pity on them and turned them both into stars, Castillo became Ursa Major, the great bear, and Arcus became Ursa Minor, the little bear. Arcturus has been associated with the bear ever since. And this card indicates family and close bonds that you share with loved ones. It could refer to an urban family of close friends and colleagues, as well as your birth family. While such relationships can have their ups and downs, this card suggests that you have a good support system in place. That's good to know. And you should not be afraid to call on family and friends if you need them. Now, y'all didn't even read this. And the isolation card, that's what we talked about, right? I didn't read this in advance, is what I mean. Trust in the bonds that you share with your loved ones and know that they are there for you forever. All right. Arcturus said it. Don't be sitting around needing help and support and not asking for it, okay? Make sure you ask for that. That's what I have for you goddesses. So yeah, thank y'all so much. I will post a link to let you all know. It'll be at the typical time. 9:15 a.m. Eastern time. Yes. And yeah, so thank y'all so much for being here. Love you all. Wishing you a wonderful October. And I would love to hear from you. What did you take away from the video? And I would also ask for you again, did you get something from the video? Will you give the video a like and a share? That's just YouTube. Yeah, this is how we do it on YouTube. So yeah, I appreciate it. Y'all know I'm getting ready to turn on some music. Come on now. So yeah, love y'all so much. And yeah, see you in the next video. Peace and love. Let's see. Let's do this one. I think. I always forget to take the sound up. Let's dance. I'm going to stand up. How y'all doing? Aloha. Y'all take care. Remember, get out there and dance because you are a goddess.